Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Heart-Based Business Show. I am glad that you are here with me. I'm Dr. Charlene, your host. And thank you for spending the time with me. Today we have a great topic, and you've got me, just me alone. And we're going to talk about referrals and how to build community referrals. And I'm also going to talk to you basically about program pricing. That's so important. I don't know if you've thought about that. But when we have our programs priced properly, then we are comfortable. We have a good foundation. So hang tight for just a minute and I'll be right back. And welcome back. So now let's dig right in. I'm so excited about this topic because I have so many people that come to me with this challenge. And the first thing I want to tell you is that if you aren't selling, you're not going to be in business for very long. Even Bloomberg says that. Only 2.5% of the people are left in business after about 3 to 5 years. And that's pretty bad odds. So I've really want to support all of you in how to make this better. And wouldn't you like to know how to make it better? Well, let's start first with the fact that we want more referrals, right? So let me talk to you about referrals. Every person you meet has value. I don't care who it is, they have value. And you're saying, no, that's not true because sometimes I can't work with them. Absolutely right. You can't work with them all because they may not be the person that's looking for you. However, if you meet somebody, then you have 3 options. One option is they are for you. They're a good prospect, a good potential client for you. Number 2 is they might be a great referral. And if you are set up with community members to receive a referral fee, then you will receive a referral and you can make money. So that's 2 different ways you could make money. The third one is perhaps it's a person that can open doors for you. Maybe they can get you a speaking gig, or maybe they could get you on a show. Who knows? Everybody has value. And if anything, if you're coming from your heart, which I beg you to do, then you will connect with this person in a way that works best for both of you. I talk a lot about this in my book, Selling Through Your Heart. It's won 4 awards and it went #1 in 4 international countries. So this is a great book for you. I wrote this book and it tells you tons of stories, so many life stories based on my clients and myself. And it gives you these kinds of tips that I'm sharing with you today. Now, in the Authors and Speakers Visibility Playground, we have a mastermind and it's all about referring to each other. Everybody's learning how to set up their referrals, what percentage they want to provide to somebody who refers to them. And I'm also going to talk to them about making sure that their programs are priced correctly. So let's kind of move along here. So now you know that there are 3 different types of people that you can connect with. And it can be at all ages. It could be men or women. It could be people that are employees or not employees. It really doesn't matter who you meet, because the reality is that whoever you meet is at the top of your funnel. Now, I've done 2 shows on funnels just recently. One is, what is a funnel? That's one of them. And the other one is, how do we use our funnel? Excuse me. So if you think about the fact that a person that you meet comes into your funnel, right? It's sort of like something you pour liquid into and it drains into a bottle or whatever. Now, at the top, your funnel is quite large, so it could include anybody. But as they move through your funnel, then let's use my sales course as an example. If it's an employee, they're not going to move through my funnel because they don't need the sales course. Or they might have, maybe my next one is my business platinum. Well, they're not building a business yet. They may if they're smart, because if you have a business, you have a lot more write-offs than just giving the IRS all your money, right? I talked to you about that before. And then if you want to get the word out in a really big way, then you go into my visibility course, which is global reach. It's all over. But if you're an employee and you're not doing anything like that, you're not my person. Would you agree? But maybe you know somebody in your referral community because this person is having health challenges, or maybe they want a yoga class, or perhaps they need their taxes done. You never know. So if you learn to listen actively, then you will find out what is troubling this person. They'll tell you everything. And all you have to say is, tell me about you. And I promise you, they'll tell you everything about them. They'll tell you what their challenges are. They'll tell you about their family. They'll tell you about work, because they're probably not happy with work. And imagine if they want to move up in work and they want to move into leadership, would that be a good referral to somebody? Absolutely. So when you go and you participate in a referral group, the important thing is that you do it for a fee. Everybody participates for a fee. Now, I talked to you about the 3 different types of people. This is where that comes in, because we never know what someone is looking for. And if we have a lot of contacts and we've made a lot of agreements with people, then and only then can we refer and receive a referral fee. Do you know that some people live strictly on referral fees? They're called connectors. Maybe you've heard of them before. And all they do is refer one person after the next. They never have to do anything work-wise at all. They don't have to have classes. They don't have to develop a funnel. They don't have to do anything except find out who is willing to pay a referral fee, and then find out about their service, because you don't want to send them to somebody who doesn't provide good service. Think about that. It's not just anybody. It's somebody that provides really good service or has great programs, or maybe they have a good product that could help them. Anyway, so then they refer and put these 2 people together, and they make a referral fee, and then they're on their way. They're free to do whatever they want. They don't have to work at all. So if you like party, I call it partying for profit. If you like partying for profit, then you are going to want to do a connector situation so that you can connect people up and make a referral fee. So it's kind of fun to be in different communities that do this. You don't always have to be in just one community, as long as you're getting paid the referral fees. And there's a lot of places out there you can go. Let me give you a little tip too. When it comes to networking, if you decide you want to be the connector, then you need to know who the people are in that networking group before you ever go there. So let me talk to you a little bit about networking. I see so many entrepreneurs running from one networking group to the next. And now I see them online too. And they don't really know what to say about their product or program. So they just barrage you with all this information in hopes that something's going to catch hold in your brain. And when I'm doing this training, I have people talk about what it is that they do. And then I ask the people in the group if they understood what they said. The reality is they only pick up 1, 2, maybe 3 facts if it's too long. Now, when I stand up at a networking group, I use my 5 to 7 words: massive visibility for massive income. And people automatically say, how do you do that? How do you make that happen? And I tell them how I make it happen. And I'll tell you too, if you ask. Just put a comment down below here and I'll tell you. So what you do is you shorten what it is that you do so that people can easily refer you. So what I have my group do is 50 words and maybe close to 100 something that gives them highlights based on what it is that a person might need. Now, always, 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 when you're dealing with referrals, talk on benefits. So massive visibility is a major benefit because people are trying to get into a bigger playground, not just a tiny little networking group. And for massive income, all of them want income. Would you agree? What's the point of working if you don't have income? So I use this as an example because one of the things that I like to do with people is to narrow down what they say so that you grab attention right away. And what you want to do is elicit a lean in. A lean in means that you want somebody to ask a question, just like they do with my phrase, my short little phrase. It's like my tagline, I think. So if you know exactly what it is that you do, then you can easily develop a 5 to 7 word tagline. And it could be almost anything. It just depends. If you're creative, what you could do is write out all your sentences for who you believe you are, and then pick out the major benefit words and put them into the 5 to 7 words. This is an easy way to get referrals. So if somebody said to a friend who is having troubles with sales, they'd say, oh, Dr. Shirlene can teach you massive visibility for massive income. Well, that encompasses sales and it encompasses video marketing, like I'm talking to you right now. So it encompasses a lot of things. And people have lean in. Well, tell me more about that. So that's one of the things I wanted to share with you, is to nail down what it is that you do. And it's going to be maybe 2 of your benefits blended together. Is that a good thing? Yeah, it's not easy to do. It takes a little while, but you can do it and it'll make all the difference in your sales. Now, another thing is to attend different communities. You can attend almost any community for free twice, but you must look at who's in that community. Find out ahead of time from the person that runs it what the major group is like, who is in it, in other words, if you don't work with people in MLMs, you're not going to want to go to a community with a lot of multi-level marketing people in it, because they're all for recruiting. They have great products, but they're going to make you pay to get in, and then they're all about recruiting. I'm all about selling product, not recruiting. So I invite people in to the Authors and Speakers Visibility Playground for free. And we do this referral group for free. That's a good thing, right? And you make money when you sell your products, and you make money when you get your referrals. It's a double whammy. So find referral groups or networking groups that fit the person that you are looking for. But one of the things that you need to do is really refine that person down. You can't just say, oh, this person's between 30 and 60 and it's a woman. Well, does this woman have a job? Or is this woman an entrepreneur? Does this person live in Florida in a big mansion? Or does this person live in a shack somewhere else? You have to really think about who this person is and direct everything, all your marketing materials, everything that you say to that person. Now, it doesn't mean that you won't get people that are outside of your specific target market. It means that that's who you're always speaking to. That's the person that you're always trying to reach. But then there's these other people that come in from everywhere, right? Now, for me, let's just talk about the fact that I have this heart-based sales course. And that's what I have to do because I'm sitting here with you. So I am looking for entrepreneurs who have been in business for a couple of years and they're struggling to sell their programs. They may not even have the best ever programs yet, but they're so frustrated because they've worked with other coaches and they really want to sell their programs. Now, I work with a higher level of entrepreneur. So they're going to be in higher level housing. So maybe they're going to be in a nice condo. Maybe they live on the beach, or they live in Florida in a high-end area, or they live in San Francisco in a high-end area. But they are frustrated. They really want to sell their programs. And they might even have been laid off from another business, and they've been trying and trying and trying. And that reminds me to tell you about something else that I wrote in my book. If you want to get somewhere, if you want to get to that next level, then you need to find a coach that is at that next level and is doing exactly what you want to do. That's so important, because if they're there, they know all the pitfalls and the problems that they've had trying to get there, and they finally made it. I could give you a ton of pitfalls that I've gone through to get to the point that I'm at right now. And as a result, I can warn all my clients, don't do this because of that. Don't do that because of this. We're going to do this, and here's why. I've seen so many coaches out there that say that they can get you to 6 and 7 figures, but they've never made 6 or 7 figures themselves. Or there's coaches that hire coaches, so you never get the real coach that you wanted to work with, that seemed to know exactly what you needed to know. Be very careful of this, because the other coaches haven't been through the pitfalls that the coach you actually hired has been through. And also, if they are selling 6 or 7 figure programs to get you there, and they've never had 6 or 7 figures, they're just using somebody else's program and they reinvented it so that they could sell it to you, that's a big problem. Okay? So make sure that the people you are referring to are credible. That's really, really important, that if they say they're selling a 6 to 7 figure program for you to get there, they can tell you, yes, I've made 6 or 7 figures. I could tell you that too. I've made 7 figures. So I know the pitfalls of getting there, and I know what happens after you get there, because it's just as difficult after you get there as it is before you get there. And it depends on how hard you want to work too. 7 figures, you work an awful lot. I mean, hour after hour after hour, it never ends. But if you can live with 6 figures, you could still have a life. Does that make sense? All right, so let's move on. So when we are doing our networking, we must talk to the person that is running the networking group and find out what type of people are in those networking groups. And as I said, if you aren't there for MLMs, then that's not a good networking group. Sometimes they will tell me, oh, you know, these people are high-end people. They do a great job out in the community. They make a lot of money. And then I go there and it's not true at all. In fact, I got involved with a coach and took a business course from her that I could have taught her, and it would have made so much more sense for me to teach it than what she taught. So that's what I'm saying. You have to make sure, and that was my mistake, right? My mistake, because I didn't check that out before I did it. So make sure that the person that you want to work with is already there doing what you want to do. That's probably one of the most important things. And connect with the person who's running the networking group to find out who is really in that group. Go the 2 free times and find out if what the networking leader said is true. And if it's the right group for you, then do that group. Pay for that group. Go to those lunches, because that's where you're going to get your people. Now, here's another thing. Make sure there's a minimum of 20 people that attend every week. You hear that? 20 people that attend every week. You don't want to go to a group that has a small amount of people in it, because there's no point in paying for that, Really, they should combine their two groups with somebody else, and then it would be a bigger group. But you don't want to pay for a small group because it's too expensive. And you might say, oh, no, it isn't. It's only $10 every time I go. It's $10 every time you go. It's 3 hours. What's your time worth? It's driving for gas. It's paying for parking if you have to do that. There's a myriad of things. And if you never get anything out of it, that's something you got to check in 6 months. And in 6 months, if you haven't sold anything, you walk away. But if it's because you don't know how to sell and you're not comfortable selling, it's not their fault. You need the sales class, okay? You got to get into a sales class, because if you don't sell, you can't survive. Did you hear me? If you don't sell, you can't survive. You'll go out of business. You won't be able to keep going. You'll burn through all the money that you have. The whole thing is that you want to go to a place that's going to make money rain on you. You don't want to take a chance that it's not going to. So I've given you a lot of good things to think about for referrals, and here's a couple more things. Think about your programs, how much you sell them for. Make sure that you have them priced properly. I don't mean you didn't price them for too much. I mean, you're not pricing them for enough. If your program is inexpensive, that does you no good, because it doesn't help with your credibility. That's really important. People pay for your credibility, so you need to price your programs properly. And the other thing is that you need to know how much you want to pay in a referral fee. And if you only charge $197, how are you going to pay a referral fee? Where's that money going to come from? It's not possible. You're worth so much more than that. I want you to really think about that. You are worth so much more than that. So find out from a coach what you should price your programs at, and have them look at them, because a lot of times people put way too much in a tiny little program and then they say, the people in the class say, I don't get it, because there's just too much to do. We have to think about people and moving them along slowly so that they can build momentum and get where they want to go. I've given you a lot of really great information here. I told you to make sure that you check on the networking groups that you're going to. This is not a friendship thing. This is a way to actually make money. And if you find in your area that the same people are going to the same networking group over and over and over again, it might be really good for giving referrals, but you may not be able to sell any of your own product. And that's where the most money comes in, right? So drop them. Just forget about it. If you haven't gotten anything and you've done your best to sell, then eliminate. Start eliminating, because your time is very, very valuable. And we've learned a lot of different things here. We've learned that you could go for 2 times and then you have to pay. So call the coordinator, go for 2 times, and then decide if that's a good place for you. Decide on whether your programs are priced correctly and what you are willing to pay as a referral fee. Then find a group that is a mastermind that does a referral group, such as the Authors and Speakers Visibility Playground. We all refer to each other, and it's really fun because they say, it's raining money on me. And also, you have a big conglomerate of people to sell for you, rather than you just trying to sell for yourself. Does that make sense? So if you haven't joined the Authors and Speakers Visibility Playground, do it now. It's on Facebook. Just type it in, Authors and Speakers Visibility Playground, and become a part of our group and come to our mastermind. And you'll start receiving referrals. Now, when you come to the group, you're going to do a sign-up form, and we're going to ask you for a 50-word introduction so that we can do formal email introductions. And this is something else I wanted to leave in your mind, is that when you do a referral, make sure you do a formal introduction so you can track it. If there's no formal introduction, then how do we know it ever happened? So what a formal introduction is, and some of you may know this already, is you say, blah, 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 I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Charlene. She does this, that, and the other thing. And then down below, you say, Dr. Charlene, I'd like to introduce you to this person. She does this and that and the other thing, and she needs some support with this. Does that make sense? Okay, so when you come to the Authors and Speakers Visibility Playground, you learn how to do this. And I just want to say to you that when we are lifting communities as a whole, it makes all the difference in the attitude of the people that are in that group. And we don't have just authors and speakers. We have everybody who supports those people. That's a lot of people, right? Everybody who supports those people are in there as well, because that's how we refer to each other. We have lovely people in that group, and it's easy to refer them because we know that they are credible. We know that they're going to work well with our clients, and our clients are going to come back, or our friends or our acquaintance is going to come back and say, oh my gosh, thank you so much for referring me. It made all the difference in the world in my business. That'd be a pretty cool thing to have somebody say, don't you agree? To actually thank them for the referral. I mean, I'm always so appreciative when people are happy with the person that I referred. Now, if they don't get the job done, that's a whole nother story. And then we have to have a talk with that person, a gentle talk that comes from the heart and says, this person is upset because whatever, and how could we make this right? Give them a chance to make it right. Just don't throw them out. They can make it right, and it'll make a big difference. It might make them stronger and even more beneficial to the group. The other thing I want to tell you is that I am having a sales course starting on July 17th and 18th. This is the last time I'm going to teach it live. And you will get my book, Selling Through Your Heart. And it has all kinds of pages in there that you can work with so that you actually have it like a workbook. And people love the book because it's so easy to read. And as we move through the class, we're going to lean on this, my Selling Through Your Heart book. It'll make all the difference for you because you'll be able to read the stories that I tell you in the book to help you help illustrate and remember what it is that I'm telling you. Now, you might be asking, how do I get into this sales course? Well, I'm only taking 10 people total. That's it, because guess what? They're going to get marketed on the course. That's a pretty cool thing, right? Because they're going to get to interact in the class, and people who take it later will know who they are. And then I'm going to put a resources page for them. So if you are interested in doing this, here is where to go. And do it quickly. I only have 5 spaces left. That's it, just 5. And when it's done, it's done. And so quickly sign up. And I look forward to seeing you in the class. If you have any questions or you'd like to share a thought, I'd love to hear from you. Please subscribe to my channel and like it if you want to, and then write a comment if you have a question. I'm happy to answer you. I answer all my own people, so I don't have somebody else doing it for me. I want you to know that even when I'm a coach, I have nobody else coaching for me, because I really care about the people that I'm working with. And I would care about you just as much. I want you to succeed. I want you to become massive in your area of expertise, and we can never get you there if you don't take the risk to step in. So thanks so much for being with me today. I'm so excited that you were here. I hope you got a lot of good information out of what I shared with you, and that I will see you next week on Wednesday at the same time. Have an awesome week. Take care of you.